old heart impacts past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here. And now, whenever we last left off, something did happen. Izuku Midoriya, left powerless against the commandment of love Meliodas. He was going to watch All Might die. However, a bright flash then happened, and an axe flew into the battlefield, cutting All For One in two pieces and sending him flying, before the axe just smashed into the ground. And this caught both Midoriya and Meliodas' attention, quite surprisingly. Now, All Might was blinded by this, and he didn't even see what happened. However, then there is currently what is going on. Now, it would appear my assistance is required, a man says, thundering footsteps as he steps out, revealing the sin of pride. The man in a giant suit of armor, and with a giant helmet. Him casually walking over, before at least looking down. My, are you really All Might? It seems that you're in worse shape than I thought. All Might, he isn't really saying anything, just staring at Midoriya. Or, well, at least looking in his direction. This giant man, who is he? All Might, he's lost a lot of blood, along with the fact that he's been bitten. Now, All Might, his entire world is zoning out. In fact, he can't even really focus. Now, the giant man just starts to snap his fingers, trying to get All Might's attention. And that does not work. However, we will cut over to Midoriya, who actually does have a different plan. As soon as he saw the man, well, he actually was able to move his right hand. Okay. I can't attack him. If I try to, that commandment will activate. Okay. New idea. Midoriya doing one thing. He uses his quirk and punches through the bottom of his shoes. As soon as he does so, he gets sent flying forwards and out of Meliodas' grip, as he actually does go falling off of the building. Meliodas is watching. It doesn't matter where you run to. Sin of greed. You will fail. Besides, I still do have your friends. Now, as soon as that does happen, we will cut onto the battlefield. Midoriya running over and trying to get an explanation. Who the hell are you? My. You must be who Lady Merlin was talking about. What? You just stay out of my way. He begins to say, popping his neck and actually cracking his knuckles, saying that he hasn't had a proper fight in a little bit of time. So, he wants to test out and see how strong All For One is. Get in his way, and he cannot guarantee safety. Clearly Merlin didn't explain who I am. My name is Izuku Midoriya. The man's head immediately turning to him. Really? This is Izuku Midoriya? Okay, and what makes you so special? Let's just say I'm known around the world as the Immortal. At least that's my nickname. I can't die. Cut off my head, blow up my brain, stick a grenade in my mouth. I don't die easy. I just keep coming back. That being where All For One rushes in. The man, twice, or at least now, 4 times, well, Midoriya's size. As soon as he does cock back his arm and go to actually throw it outwards to slash through Midoriya's chest, this ginormous man in armor immediately just throws out his right arm, punching and breaking All For One's wrist, as he gets sent flying to the right. As the giant man immediately just bringing up his left hand. And you do have the sacred treasure, or his divine axe. It immediately begins to move, well, and shake, before finally flying towards his hand. Before he grabs it and immediately just starts to try and run in. Stay on the sidelines. This is my fight. Huh. Doubt it. Midoriya just brings his hands up before beginning to shout and scream, "Critical overdrive!" As soon as he does, he begins to bulge out with muscle once again, immediately following after the Sin of Pride. Midoriya actually being able to match his speed for 1 second. Him catching this. Impressive. Before Midoriya does actually get directly in front of All For One and uppercut him across the face. The ginormous man in armor brings his hand up and trying to slash downwards. As soon as he actually does slash downwards, he completely cuts through All For One's chest, cutting him, well, almost in two, once again. All For One immediately leaping backwards and trying to blast up with these, well, orbs of darkness. Now, as soon as that does actually happen, this man just watches. The orbs coming flying towards him. "Mister, you have to move. Don't let those things touch you." Such a weak attack. He says, bringing his hand up. "Cruel son," before just blasting them out forwards. Now, Midoriya was so completely surprised. As soon as that man did that, he felt like the sun was literally beaming down on him. It got very hot. Now, along with that, All For One actually did scream out in pain, and his skin did begin to blister. All For One then trying to at least blast an attack at them more. These two going in for a fight. Midoriya being able to try and physically overpower All For One, while this man, well, he's trying to do the same. These two being able to hold him off. All For One using quirks and many other different abilities. Even trying to increase his own size with a gigantification quirk. However, that doesn't seem to be working. Now, All For One's rapid body mutations, well, they're at least beginning to, well, I would say become more permanent. Basically, he's at his final stage of his evolution, or at least closing in on it. This being where Midoriya, him and the Sin of Pride, do actually try and formulate a plan. "Damn it," Midoriya says, after being smashed into the ground and his arm having to regenerate. As soon as it does regenerate, Midoriya just brings it up, saying that it seems like this guy just won't stay dead. That would be true. However, I've dealt with something similar to this in my world. Your world? Yes. It would seem like he is a Nosferatu. A vampire? Well, that does actually make sense, but why is that important? I have a theory, he says, raising his axe up high as he begins to increase in size more. Meliodas, astonished watching this. The Sin of Pride. He gets bigger and bigger and bigger. almost into the one mode, before raising his axe up high and beginning to create an artificial sun. Off one trying to run and scream out in pain. Midoriya being able to actually see, his skin blistering and beginning to catch fire, before he just begins to dash in. Using critical overdrive into his quirk, Midoriya is able to wrap his arms directly around All For One's wings, and actually try and put him into a chokehold, using his quirk to wrap around his arms and at least try and incapacitate his legs. Do it now! I cannot guarantee your shut up and attack me! Now, the man sends off the ginormous blast. The sun barreling directly into All For One and Midoriya. All For One and Midoriya being sent flying backwards. The two going for at least an entire city block, before Midoriya is at least finally burnt through, and he's able to regenerate. Meanwhile, for All For One, well, there is nothing left. He is presumed dead. No body could be found, and all that's left is the ashes flying into the wind. Now, as Midoriya actually does get back up, he does go back to the battlefield, immediately rushing towards All Might and trying to ask him a question. All Might, Midoriya says, dropping onto his knee. Okay, listen to me, All Might, it's gonna be okay. Alright, let me just give you some of my blood. Young Midoriya, is that you? All Might, yes, it's me. Come on, you're gonna get through this. All Might's trying to look in his direction. Now, Midoriya is able to cut open his wrist and pour some of his blood into All Might's mouth. All Might beginning to cough a little bit before his vision does at least begin to somewhat return. Now, All Might tells Midoriya that he is very proud of what he's done today. Defeating that villain is no easy feat, but he must make sure to... All Might passing out before he can finish his statement. Okay. Midoriya says, standing back up onto his feet, turning to see the giant man in armor. I still don't know who you are. Give me a name. Me. That's funny. I am the Lionson of Pride. Huh. Really? That's ironic. Why? Because I've recently become known as the Foxen of Greed. That is an amusing little name. Really? You want to try and say that to my face? Him just simply bending down, saying that is an amusing little name. But listen to him. Everything that has happened here tonight has shown him something new. In fact, Midoriya's quirk is astounding. My quirk? Oh, crap. Does he not know about my immortality? How are you able to maintain so much damage without dying? Well, it's a whole complicated thing and... I am joking. Lady Merlin explained it all, before at least sending me here. Where are we anyways? What is the date? The date? Oh, it's him going on to state that. Before you at least had Meliodas, who actually does smash back into the battlefields. Did you really think our little arrangement was done with? Shit. Alright, you have to be on guard. This guy's a lot more challenging. You can't attack him, otherwise you're weakened. Weakened? Whatever do you mean? Apparently, if you bear hatred towards him, you can't move. Really? He says. Now, Midoriya, he tries to rush forwards, going on the offensive, knowing that he has his friends. As soon as he takes 2 steps forwards, he's immobilized. You can see that he's trying to move, but you basically might as well have glued his feet to the ground. Meanwhile, Meliodas is smirking, stating that if you could simply just walk forwards and grab them, he can take them. The man in armor taking a step. This confusing Meliodas and Midoriya. You just watching as, well, he just begins to move forwards. Boom, 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 every step. It sounds heavier and heavier. My commandment doesn't work on you. Well, why would it work on me? For one, I don't know who you are. You are a villain. Why would I bear hatred towards you? Seconds. You are beneath me. Oh, really? Is that right, human? So you don't hate me? No, I merely pity you. That pissing off Meliodas, going to throw out his arm, and aiming directly for his face. The man in armor just dropping the axe, and immediately bringing up his hand, catching it before forcing his body weight and his strength directly back at Meliodas, smashing him directly down into the ground, before picking him up by his hand and beginning to crush it. As soon as he does that, he immediately stomps his leg downwards and pulls up on it, ripping Meliodas' arm clean off, before throwing it to the wind. Midoriya completely shocked by that. No way. This guy, he can... Oh dear God. Is he really one of Merlin's acquaintances? Midoriya getting a telepathic message. Yes, she summoned that man here from a different world. What? Or, well, I do not know. His unique power I have seen once before. Power? Sunshine. It's a rare and dangerous ability. However, even I do not fully understand it. Okay. But, shit. Midoriya. Yes? You must get your friends back. Look for the arm that he threw. Midoriya trying to run around and look for that. Now, we will cut back to the man. As soon as Meliodas does actually get back up, he immediately socks him directly in his chest, being able to knock the wind out of the man before Meliodas and him begin to go back and forth. Now, Meliodas is only using one hand, but even then he begins to break through the gloved knuckles on the armor, along with the ginormous arms. Cracks beginning to appear and show. As soon as they begin to break, you feel the entire area around you immediately just beginning to be drenched in heat. Now, Midoriya notices intense heat as his skin did actually begin to steam, and basically coat almost in fire. Shit. Now, Meliodas, he brings his decapitated arm up, beginning to call back the rest of it with darkness. Now, as soon as he does that, the arm immediately just gets latched onto by a piece of darkness before beginning to try and fly back to Meliodas. Midoriya bringing his hand up and being able to actually slice the piece in two again, before using his other hand and grabbing the arm out of the air, pulling it directly into his hands, grabbing the marbles and doing one simple thing: swallowing them. Meliodas cannot take them back if he can't even get them. Now, Midoriya knows that that is not a good idea, but it's the best he's got right now, before just tossing the arm away once again. Now, Meliodas is pissed off, and he actually just begins to sock this man across the face and in his chest. The man going to bring up a cruel sun, blasting it directly at Meliodas as he just uses full counter. Now, this is incredibly odd. As soon as, well, the man in armor gets hit, most of his armor is destroyed. The only thing left being his pants and his helmets, along with his sacred axe, which he used to try and block most of the blow, being able to protect his face. Now, he just does one simple thing. He brings his hand up and grabs the side of his helmet. This thing seems to be broken anyways, so it is just going to be getting in his way, ripping it off his head with only one hand, before beginning to increase in size once again. Now, Midoriya rushes in, and just thinks for 1 second. Okay, with both of us here, we might be able to actually take him down. Okay, this is going to be risky. If we cannot take him down here, then what is going to happen? Okay, so close to your life's goal. The purpose you were given immortality for. You can't let it slip from your hands now. Midoriya being able to actually run up and sock Meliodas directly across the face before his body just freezes. Now, as soon as he did actually do that, Meliodas immediately just turns to him, being able to bring up his hands and coat him in demonic flames. Midoriya just screaming out in pain as he's lit ablaze. Now, the flames do not stop. In fact, they continue pouring. Midoriya just engulfed by them and just trying to stay conscious. Holy shit, this is painful. Now, as for the man in armor, he decides that it is finally time to end this. Civilians are showing up more. Along with that, All Might might not have a lot of time. Now, he immediately just buffs up more. His arms and, well, entire body increasing dramatically in size. Meliodas being able to see this, along with Midoriya through the flames being able to see the one who stands above all. Now, Meliodas tries to rush in and attack. However, as soon as the ginormous axe is swung down at Meliodas, he's immediately chopped into two across his torso. Along with that, using their other hand, the giant man makes a cruel sun, immediately just blasting Meliodas far into the distance. Now, that attack could have been the finishing blow, since Meliodas just kept flying away with it. It is unknown as to exactly how far he went, but he's gone. Now, after that did happen, the giant man actually did begin to shrink down in size, before actually falling over onto one of his knees, coughing up a bit of blood. That was a strong opponent. Looking back towards Midoriya, before using one hand, throwing the axe in that direction, chopping Midoriya in two. Midoriya being able to regenerate from, well, I would say the top part of his body downwards this time. But he still does need pants, so the opposite way. Anyways, now, as soon as Midoriya is actually regenerated, the flames do begin to die down. And he actually does look up and try and make eye contact with this man, wanting to understand who he is. However, the man has no face. Midoriya actually surprised by this, along with actually looking back at his skin. Huh? All that heat, it's gone? Well, of course it is. That is my ability. Yeah, I heard about that. Lady Merlin was trying to explain it. Alright then. him looking off into the distance. I believe that problem is taken care of. Exactly what was that man? That man? He was not human, was he? Well, which one? Off one? Or the demon? The commandment? No, he wasn't human. I should have known. Only the most elite could have beaten me. No human could have. This man really is the embodiment of pride. Anyways, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yes. There is much we have to discuss. The man bending at his knees, before jumping off into the distance. Midoriya, shocked that the man got that much airborne, or at least that much distance in a jump, than he did. Now, All Might is taken to a hospital, and Midoriya does get the marbles out of his body. Them being able to break them and get the Class 1A students back. Now, Ida, Ibara, and Bakugo, along with somebody else who I keep forgetting. I don't remember who the fourth student was. I'd say probably Tokoyami. I think it was Tokoyami. Anyways, it's not important now that they're back. Now, after they are basically caught up to speed on what's going on with the dormitory systems and everything, it is, well, a bit weird. Having them back after being gone for so long, well, it's kind of refreshing. Now, with that being said, let us cut over to Meliodas. After he was blasted away by the ginormous sun, and cut into two. Now, he was able to get away from the sun. However, he did get severe burns, along with actually losing both of his legs in the fight. Now, he ended up washing up somewhere, I want to say, well, not in the ocean or by the ocean, but possibly in a lake somewhere far away. Now, he was surprised that a human could be so strong. What the hell was that? He dominated me in my suppressed state. Even then, must keep an eye out for them. It seems like this might be a lot more fun than we thought. Now, he's also sort of impressed. A sin of greed and a sin of pride. The sin of greed completely forgot about why he held ill will in his heart for 1 second. He was actually able to lay a finger on him. The boy truly is impressive. However, that does not matter. It just means that they are going to have to try and speed up their plans. Some of those demons have already been released. The human sacrifices that they've made, well, they've at least allowed a few low-level demons to bleed out of the demon seal. So, soon some more chaos will reign upon the earth. Meanwhile, back with Midoriya. We will cut over to him. He is talking to Mr. Aizawa. Nope, you can't. Huh? Oh, come on, why not? Midoriya, you cannot just change your hero name on the fly. Especially not now that you've already had it for quite a bit of time. Oh, come on, Mr. Aizawa. I know for a fact you can change it. You're just too lazy. You don't want to do the paperwork. Oh, really now? And exactly what could I get from changing your hero name? Do you know how many legal things I'd have to go through, hoops I'd have to jump through? agencies that I have to talk to, that you've already been associated with just to do this all, it's not worth the time. I'll get you a Maine, a Coon, a Ragdoll, a Scottish Fold, and a Siamese. I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, um, just some very well-known cat breeds I know. Hmm. And how exactly could you get them? Hmm? Oh, well, they're fairly expensive, but I mean, with my money, I can just get them here within the next 3, 4 days. Hmm. And exactly how many would I be able to have? Well, you can have all of them. I'm not giving you a choice to pick them, I'm just going to, well, politely give you these cats. I saw the way you acted with the Wildwood Pussycats, and looking into it a little bit more, and talking to President Mike, I was kind of surprised to learn that you're a cat lover. Hmm. Mike needs to keep his mouth shut. Yeah, but anyways, if you don't want the cat breeds, I guess I can just go. You really are going to turn out to be a problem child. Hmm? So, can I change my hero name? Fine. However, Mr. Aizawa beginning to talk about different things. He also will need these provided things, these provided things, and these provided things. Basically talking about how he's going to need them to be, well, probably seen to a vet, vaccinated, and actually taken care of. Along with make sure that they're actually properly healthy and that they have their own special diets. Midoriya agreeing, and going through that paperwork. He bribed Aizawa with cats, yes. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he actually does return to the Class 1A dorms. And this is whenever Kirishima does actually seem to be a bit pissed off. Sitting on the couch. He has just learned something that All Might has been trying to keep a secret. All Might has been getting substantially weaker, ever since Kirishima was taken on One for All. However, after being healed, he was at least able to fight close to his prime for a bit of time. And All Might believes that One for All might be gone from him almost within the next year or two. In fact, it might even be less time. If All Might goes plus Ultra one more time, that might be the last time he uses One for All. So, basically he's going to have to be careful. He can maintain the quirk for a little bit more time, regularly, but still. Using it at full absolute power, 1,000,000%, will burn out his clock forever. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and to have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.